to ask you about their move for Arsenal's Ethan Nwaneri. What's the latest on that?
Yeah, easy for me to say. Ethan Nwaneri was over here yesterday having his medical, of course, and we actually spoke to Roberto De Zerbi after the game about Nwaneri, and of course Quinton Timber, who is joining on loan as well. And actually Arne Slot was asked about Timber because he's worked with him at Feyenoord and he expects him to be a big success. But when it comes to Nwaneri, of course it looks to be a deal that suits every party at the moment because he's not been getting that game time at Arsenal. We know that Mikel Arteta has spoken to Roberto De Zerbi about Nwaneri and the opportunity he will get for first team minutes. When he's not getting that opportunity at Arsenal, it makes sense for him, for his development, to go on loan and get those first team minutes. So he's going to get that in an environment with a coach that obviously Mikel Arteta respects, and there'll be there's pressure as well playing for a side like Marseille. So this was something that will really help with Nwaneri's development. So in terms of the deal, it is a loan deal until the end of the season. There's no option or anything like that to buy. He's of course contracted to Arsenal until 2030, and what De Zerbi had to say last night is that he's really looking forward to working Nwaneri because of course he's such a young talent, the skill factor that he's got as well, and on top of that he said both he and Timber could possibly even start as early as the weekend against Lens, so it could be a chance to really hit the ground running over here in France. But that loan deal, we await full confirmation of it from Marseille, but that deal, given the way Roberto De Zerbi was speaking last night, of course, going through, and Nwaneri effectively a Marseille player until the end of the season.
Vinny, thank you very much. Darren Ambrose, Salah's return, a big boost for Liverpool. Can this be like a new signing, or do you expect in the next couple of weeks the same talk we had a few weeks ago before AFCON to emerge about a move to Saudi?
You know what? I expect Salah to be gone in the summer. I really do. But I think he will kind of be that new signing until the summer. And I think that break away from the AFCON has probably helped the club, helped the player himself. He's gone away, he's done well, he's recreated his form as well, 4 goals in the AFCON. And last night I was keeping a close eye, Clinton had the game next to me, I was keeping a close eye on it, and he looked good, he looked sharp. Missed a couple of chances, that he would have normally have taken. But I think it's done him and Liverpool good going to the AFCON for a few weeks. But I do expect him to be out of Liverpool in the summer, but in goodwill this time, as opposed to it ended a bit sour. But I think he'll go with everyone's blessing this time. Yeah,
all the talk, Chris Reedy, is about Liverpool reinforcements at the back. Do you expect them to get any before the 2nd of Feb?
Not before the 2nd of Feb. I think we've seen, obviously, they didn't go for Mark Gahey, or didn't go as strongly, or potentially missed out on him to Man City this time round. I think they're happy with Giovanni Leone long term. Obviously, he's got this knee injury as well. Conor Bradley the same. But I think what Vinny just said there is important, that Joe Gomez played very well last night, that both fullbacks played very well last night as well. So I think we know that Liverpool, they don't panic. They don't do panic buys. In the summer, I think it'll be different. Konate's out of contract. That's still obviously not been resolved. And a really interesting line, I guess, in the papers today, a Daily Mail report is kind of highlighting Mickey van der Ven from Tottenham as a long-term target as well.
Darren's just raised his eyebrows.
I'm sorry about that, mate. But look, that could be an interesting one because Mark Gahey hasn't been signed. There have been problems, obviously, with Liverpool defending this season. Joe Gomez clearly played well last night, but we know that's not going to be a long-term option. So yeah, Mickey van der Ven's contract is runs until 2029. Sorry, there's an option, I think, to go further on that as well. But with Tottenham struggling, with him being such a fantastic player as well, that I think will be a really interesting one in the summer.
Look, you pulled that face, Darren. I know, that makes sense to the Liverpool fans.
It does, and it's a disappointment face, a frustrated face, because Tottenham are struggling at the moment, and of course, being a Spurs fan, Mickey van der Ven and Romero are probably the highlights of the season, and it's a frustration that Spurs are doing so poor, because there's always going to be teams coming in and wanting to sign your best players. And he probably is the best player at Spurs at the moment, and it makes sense for Liverpool, but I believe it will cost an awful lot of money to get him out of Spurs. I really do, especially with a long time left on his contract. They need to sort the Konate deal out, I think, as soon as possible. The situation, is he staying, is he going? I thought, as you said, Joe Gomez played well last night, but injuries and keeping him fit is going to be a problem. The fullbacks played well. But if you're Virgil van Dijk, I think you're going to be looking and saying, I need a partner next to me.
Yeah.
Whether that was going to be Gay, he probably had his sights set on that. But he can't keep being the main defender to bail Liverpool out all the time.
Yeah.
He's going to be asking questions, and I just got everything crossed that isn't Nicky van der Ven, to be honest.
Well, don't worry, Spurs fans. Just to reiterate, that is pure paper talk, and I'm sure Tottenham and Mickey van der Ven have many more years together. Right, still to come on Good Morning Transfers. We will have the latest from Chelsea as they look to bring in a new centre-back. Plus, Unai Emery is hit by yet more injuries. Will they be forced into the market? Welcome back. Right, let's take a quick look, shall we, at some of the stories making the back pages today. Let's start with the Express. They are reporting that Chelsea's Cole Palmer is willing to return to Manchester to join Manchester United, although the former Manchester City player has a big contract, until